Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, here to react to the Raptors' 98-94 loss to the Dallas Mavericks. I apologize everyone today, I got a bit of a head cold, so I'm sorry if I sound a bit weird. So, this is a really tough game for the Raptors. Really tough one to take in, we may as well get straight into the action. Dallas played a really good game tonight. Their defense was, Dallas really won this off their defense and the Raptors' inability to score. Half of it was just guys that are great shooters for the Raptors, the shots weren't falling tonight. And the other half was Dallas' defense. And the first guy to give credit to is Wesley Matthews. He really put the clamps down on DeMar tonight. He, contained DeMar to 8 points on 3 of 16 shooting, which it's a very uncharacteristic night for our all-star, better be all-star starters. So, yeah, Wesley Matthews, guy you hate to play against, but you'd love to have on your team. And yeah, he really took it to DeMar tonight, which was, a tough watch as DeMar just kept trying to shoot shots he usually makes and always had a hand in his face. And to stay on the topic of defense, this Max Cleaver guy, I personally have never heard of this guy, but he also killed the Raptors tonight on offense, having 15 points. Hitting two threes, 8 rebounds. I didn't know what to expect of this person. I haven't watched that many Mavericks games, so I'm unfamiliar with this player. But yeah, he had 5 blocks tonight, and it seemed every time the Raptors, there's no easy shots for Toronto tonight, which really hurt us with the threes not falling, because we needed some easy buckets to really get the offense going, and Dallas just wasn't giving us that. And Dirk Nowitzki, I think he's 40. He's in his 20th season. He was playing defense like, that random 50-year-old man that you play against at the Y. Always giving people little shoves, just not doing anything to warrant a foul, but just always jabbing at you and just playing like an old man out there. And tonight it was effective. The refs weren't calling these little chippy things he was doing to Jonas and Ibaka, and that's the veteran in Dirk. Even though he's old and he can't move that well, he is super old. He's still finding a way to be effective on defense, and he had 3 blocks as well. So the defense for Dallas is really what took them the win, because it's a low scoring game, 98-94. And the fourth quarter was 16-13. That's not something you see in 2017. That's more like a game you'd watch in 1960. It's a quarter with 16-13. So that kind of expresses the type of game it was. Dallas is just not a good offensive team. That's the reason for their awful 10-25 record. But Toronto just had a really rough night from the field. And yeah, we'll analyze some of the players now. DeMar, as I said, had a very tough night. OG, it's rare that you see OG have a game where he didn't really look effective out there. He didn't really impact the game in any way. We always talk about OG's impact not being necessarily reflected on the box score, but he didn't look that engaged on defense, and I don't know, just wasn't a great night from OG. He didn't do many OG things, and he also had 0 points. So OG had a tough one. Norm came in the game. He missed a lot of open shots. We needed, the Raptors had a lot of opportunities to run away with this game, but it seemed like whenever they needed a bucket, they had this opportunity, they couldn't capitalize, right? They'd only be scoring when, just to stay in it. That's the tough part about watching this game, right? You think the Raptors are about to run away with the game because there's so many opportunities given to them, and they just couldn't capitalize on it. But one player who did play really well for the Raptors tonight was Kyle Lowry. He had 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, and he was a plus 17 for the game. So you could see that Kyle Lowry was the guy that kept this game close, right? Everyone else was kind of struggling. Jonas had himself a nice night as well, 17 and 11. He gets a plus 8. So, Kyle and Jonas really were the two that kept us in this game, and it just wasn't enough to take down the Dallas Mavericks, who were playing very, very motivated tonight. Another guy who really killed us tonight was JJ Barea. He came in off the bench. He hit a couple shots early, right? The Raptors kind of let him get him going, and then when they started playing defense on him, he was too hot to miss. I don't know. I know it says he went 9 for 18. It seemed like he went 9 for 9. I don't remember him missing. He just, you can't let these guys get hot early. You just got to shut them down at the beginning of the game. These players that like to score in bunches, and then you're pretty well set for the rest of it. But once they get going, I don't know. It was tough to watch JJ Barea hit these random scoop layups in the paint, and he hit one ridiculous 3 above the break with Siakam all over his face. So I don't know. He was a big factor in the Mavericks win. But yeah, Toronto just needs to hit their open shots. Right, Serge Ibaka's been phenomenal as late, and when he was in the paint, he was pretty good, but he just didn't find his stroke from downtown. Shot 20% from 3 today. Only 12 points. Serge didn't have an awful game, but, we're accustomed to the new and improved Serge. If we got that tonight, we definitely would have got the win. So, the team, it wasn't an awful game by any means. Like, we weren't blown out by the Mavericks, but it was definitely a game we should have won. They gave us so many opportunities to be back in the game, and we just couldn't take advantage. So, and CJ Miles returned tonight. That's another headline. He was out with a dental procedure for the past few games, and he came in and wasn't super effective. He hit 1-3 early and just really didn't get any other clean looks. And when CJ doesn't get any clean looks, he doesn't really do too much else. So he had 3 points and minus 16 from the floor. So that's all you can do. CJ's just coming off of extended break. Hopefully he'll turn things around. I would have liked to see him play more of the second half rather than Norm, because Norm is a bit more of a better all-around player than CJ. Gives you a bit more on the defensive end. But it wasn't the defense that was really affecting Toronto tonight. It was more so just the inability to hit shots. So I think CJ would have been more, I would have probably went with CJ a bit more down the stretch just to see if we can get a bucket rather than Norm. But, both are great players for us. I don't know, just tough night from the Raptors overall. Not much you can do about this one, so may as well get straight into the segments. So for tonight's play of the day, not all losses have to be super bad. There's going to be a play of the day, even during a tough loss, and that goes to JV. He hit a nice, JV. A couple possessions in a row, he missed a few buckets in the paint, just couldn't drop them in, and then he catches the ball in the paint. The next possession, he was determined to score. Comes around, gets pushed by Dirk, throws up a fadeaway, and one fadeaway over Dirk Nowitzki. So, I don't know, it was a bit chaotic, but it was nice to see it drop. So, that's tonight's play of the day. But not all plays can be as high as the play of the day. Some just make you say, oh, geez. And that play tonight, the OG's play of the day for the Toronto Raptors, was at the end of the game. Toronto was making their little comeback. They could have tied it up. They swing the ball to Serge Ibaka, open above the break. Serge has been so good as of late. Shot goes up, goes in and out. The shot would have tied the game. And I know I was kind of holding my breath. I was ready to get super excited, and the shot just didn't drop. So it just made me as a fan say, oh geez, to my TV. So, and the final award, the dubious award, the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star. And tonight the DeMarre Carroll Gold Star for the worst performance, player, whatever we want to give it to, of the game, goes to the officiating of this game. Now, I'm not one to often blame referees. I don't like that. I don't think they're the reason we lost, but because the Raptors should have beaten the Dallas Mavericks. They're a 10-25 team, even with some calls not going their way. But I don't know. Tonight there was a lot of shaky calls, and the main one goes to the main reason they're getting this dubious award was that play. at the end of the game, it could have totally swung the tide of the game if so. I do not know how to pronounce his name. Mejri on the Dallas Mavericks, thought he got pushed from behind or something, and then ran straight at Serge Ibaka and Jonas Valanciunas. Lowry was laughing at the play, laughing at him and Brea were just kind of giggling at Mejri's antics. I apologize if I'm butchering his name. I know I am. And then, they're away from the play. And then the refs review it for about 5 minutes. And then they somehow end up giving a technical to Lowry and this Mejri guy who went absolutely berserk for a few seconds. That's a bit ridiculous. Lowry wasn't even near the situation. And it was just a bit foolish. And if the Raptors had gotten that call, if Lowry wasn't called for that technical, they would have had an extra free throw and would have brought the game back to, I believe, four or 3 points. Because this was a very close game at this point. So that extra point, I think, would have definitely helped the Toronto Raptors. So, I don't know. The Raptors, I don't believe it was the referee's fault we lost, but still, they're getting the DeMario Carroll Gold Star Award tonight. Well, anyways, it's tough to take. With the Raptors been so good of late, it's tough to take these losses. I know this one hurts, but hopefully we come out a lot better tomorrow against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Bring back those winning feels. We need that after tonight's loss. So, anyways, everyone, thanks for everyone out there listening. I apologize, my voice has been a bit messed up. I got this cold, so I don't know. I know Riker will be back on the next couple pods. He has returned, and let's just hope the Toronto Raptors can regain that first seed and get back on track. Thanks for listening.